back to What to Do Wednesdays. Thank you guys so much for joining us for week 4. I'm Kandi Thompson.
My name's Garrett Gray.
And we are very excited to have you join us. We are excited to talk about kind of what transpired in the last week for anyone and what's kind of coming up. Anything exciting for you, Mr. Garrett?
No, just trying to get the holidays all wrapped up and together. Yeah. Big shopping, big spending months.
Yes.
So, I mean, for everybody out there, right? Like, try to also understand if you're looking to make big purchases, all these big purchases that you make at the end of the year do kind of follow you around a little bit.
That's right. Make sure you're not looking to buy a house while you're making big purchases.
That's very true.
Yeah.
No, but that's really about it. Trying to just see family, spend time with them, be around for the holidays. I think it's big for me because I was gone for so long that, now being home, and I think this is my 3rd year being actually, in a spot where I can visit family and be with them. And I try to just, cherish the moment a little bit.
That's awesome. I don't think I realized that it was that recently that you have been home. That is crazy.
I think if I remember correctly, so I retired in 22 of October. And I moved back the July following that year. So I think I moved back to 2021.
Okay.
I get the years confused. So but I think it was July of 21, and then I went through like almost a full year, and then got out in October of 22. So
very cool.
And then proceed to get my license, and now we're here. So.
Right. Well, we do appreciate your service. Just so you know, I know I speak for everyone that watches this when we say that. Garrett is a proud Marine who was also a Marine recruiter, which makes him a wonderful real estate agent. Anyway, well, we had fun. Our kids came home from college, so that was super fun. It's always our favorite time to have our
drop turkey this time, though, right?
No drop turkey. Good. No, I mean it was.
I've never had floor tasting turkey though, but
my family has. And I'm going to tell you, we bathed that boy so well, nobody even knew.
Fantastic.
He was good. Yep. We rebuttered him, rebathed him. Yep. He was good to go with. No, everything was super smooth. Are you a Black Friday shopper?
I'm not really a big shopper. I like the Cyber Mondays, do it all on the phone. My wife, however, is a Black deal shopper. She goes out and does all that stuff. I think she really likes the deal part of it.
Yeah.
So she's even in regular times, right? She's really big on finding a good deal and making it work and manipulating the money somehow. So she went out and did some shopping.
Awesome.
While she did that, of course, the kids can't be with her. So I took the kids riding on my new side-by-side out in Pipe High.
Awesome.
We spent the day getting muddy and doing boy things.
I love that.
That was enjoyable.
That's super fun. We one thing I love about Black Friday now is that you can get all the same deals online.
Right.
So I love that. Like during the whole time my kids were in high school, you don't have to go out. But I'm not lie. Adam and I were ones that were out there. I mean, with twins, we were out there on Friday mornings, and
like
we were.
4 o'clock in the morning lining up.
I think I bought every little people package you could buy. It was true, and we got. I mean, we would buy the entire sets of little people for $10.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they are now, but that wasn't that much long ago. Okay, it was maybe 15 years ago, but it was.
It's a good minute ago.
Yeah, it is a good minute.
I was still in high school 15 years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
Garrett.
15 years ago, my girls were 6. And so we were hitting the sales. And in high school, it was just like, hey guys, American Eagle's having 75% off of the entire store. Like if we would be dumb to not put them on the computer. I mean, we're getting, or even 50%. If I can get a 2-for-1, I mean, I have them 2 at a time.
Well, I think it's a great time to get out there and go buy stuff that, that you've been looking at all year, right?
Yes.
And being able to kind of get that whole deal done. So my family has my mom actually has a tradition that every year she goes out like after Christmas, but she'll buy a bear or a stuffed animal that has like the name tag, like the year on it.
That's
so
cute.
Her whole staircase is full of bears.
Oh my God.
I would say back to when I was born in 93.
Oh, you're old.
And it's all down. So she does that every year now. And so that's kind of like her little tradition that she does. And I didn't really catch on to it till about a couple of years ago when I was like,
that's hilarious.
Why do you have so many bears that come out during Christmas? And where do you store all these bears?
That's hilarious. So I love to decorate. And we even our office is decorated before we leave for Thanksgiving. We decorate for Christmas. So it's all done when we get back.
Well, I can tell,
It was all done. But, the day after Thanksgiving, God bless Adam. He is a saint. You know this about
Of
him, right?
course,
Okay. So,
a comic saint because he's very funny too. I
he
think.
is a very funny
Yeah.
saint. That's true. He'd have to have a sense of humor to be married to me, but he, I mean, we literally load up everything from Thanksgiving. And I mean, I love to go out for fall. So we deck out for fall,
Right.
load it all up. We have a gazillion tubs, and then those go in the storage. And here comes all of Christmas. So day after. So Christmas did throw up on our house a little bit just because I planned on getting my girls left for the airport,
College,
yep,
yeah.
on Sunday, and they'll be back in a couple weeks. But we had, had almost my day would put everything out was going to be Sunday. And I got hit with this stupid flu that's going around.
Oh no.
Horrible 24-hour flu. Yeah.
Yeah.
Had vomit, it was fever.
Shoot, that's what
Yeah, it was
I got,
horrible.
we were supposed to film that day.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago I came back from Phoenix and it was horrible.
Yeah.
But I was over it after a couple days, but it
24
was
hours.
Smacked you good.
I was literally over. Although I have to say that my ribs have hurt so bad. I'm like, gosh, I use muscles when you throw up you normally don't use.
Yeah, and then you find out that they're actually there.
Yeah, they're there. They exist. Yeah, they do. So yesterday I couldn't laugh, cough, or sneeze, and today it's down to a hard laugh. And so I'm getting better every day.
That's good.
Yeah, so I think holiday season, I mean, this is very exciting for us. I know that it's Christmas can be difficult for many people.
Yeah.
This week is a very interesting week for us. I imagine, I think that I keep trying to put it out of my head. But my brother passed away. Hold on, because I'm not going to cry.
No.
My brother passed away a year ago on Friday. And so there's 5 of us, right? And he's the only boy. So 4 girls and 1 boy. He's right in the middle. He and I were very, very close. And he is truly the only consistent male that's ever been in my life. I was not raised with a dad. My brother was my everything. And he was 11 years older than me. So he died at 58.
Wow.
Yeah, massive heart attack, just out of the blue. Nobody ever expected it. I got a call from my nephew. And honestly, when he said he's gone, I was so certain that there was nothing that could ever happen to my brother. Yeah. I thought he meant his own son, which is still tragic. But never once did my brain even think that it could have been my brother.
Right.
So here we come up on December 6th as the 1 year. And it just makes me think for a lot of people out there that the holidays can be kind of difficult. And I think it's very important for us to be sensitive to that there are losing loved ones is a very difficult time. Generally around the holidays is the worst time,
I feel like it happens a lot in my family around the holidays. I don't know why it is like that, but it kind of brings me to the fact, like, you don't know what other people are going through. So just be kind, be supportive, right? Be not just a nice human being, but let those people and just also remember the good times, right? Like I've had a lot of people that are kind of in the same situation right now. They've lost somebody, and when I talk to them, it's remember the good things. It's not always bad. It's always a negative part, but just be happy for what they had, right? Don't look at the negatives. Some people get down too, and I should have spent more time and all this stuff, and agreed. But also, let's just share something you did have, right? Yeah. So now let's make it a happy thing, right? Yep. They call it a celebration of life, right?
100%. Yeah.
So celebrate that, enjoy it, keep hearts. They're close, they're watching over you now. So that's how I kind of put it in my mind that everything happens for a reason.
Yep.
It is harder than others to swallow down and get through, but at the end of the day, you got to live for them. That's right. So keep them heart, and then do you out there do what you got to do to I don't know what you have to do to cope or whatever the case is, but
I think everybody grieves differently. I think that grief for me was a new reality. I'd never been through anything like it, and is the weirdest friggin' thing I've ever been through my whole life. Like, you're in a fog. You cannot ever assume what someone else is going through unless you've been through that yourself. I mean, my heart has always ached for people that have lost someone, because I know, like, heart-wise that it has to be broken. But man, I mean, I was in a fog for 6 months, literally just going through the motions, and it's still not a reality to me. My brother went into the military when he was 17, so I was 6. So for many years of our life, he's been away. Right. But in the last 4 years of my girls is going to college, I mean, they were in Fort Worth. They were 20 minutes away from him. So I could not be more blessed that I was able to see him so much. But Yeah, it's an interesting and very difficult time. Sorry, I'm
Okay.
kicking you. But
I
it
thought you just want to
is,
play footsie.
yeah.
So.
No, I'm not gonna play footsie with you. Adam, I'm not playing footsie with Garrett. Um, but I do just want to have just my heart go out to everybody who has lost someone, even previous to this year, but especially in this last year, because the holidays are the hardest time. So we're praying for you. God is good, and we know that they're in a better place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, enough of the sadness,
Yeah,
right?
let's turn this up and
That's
get what
it.
we're talking
Let's
about this
crank it
week.
up. Yes.
So last week we brought up we wanted to start talking about different types of loans that people can get. Everybody,
Yes.
I mean, to me, now being in real estate, it's like common knowledge, I feel like, right?
Yeah.
But it was a big shock to me that there's a bunch of different ones. And
Yeah.
how I found out about my different kind of home values and stuff like that is not through a lender, but being in the military, they preach all your benefits all the time. And I think what happened was is back in the day, they didn't do that a lot. So people didn't really understand. So I've gotten very into it and understanding it as the VA loan,
Right.
because there's multiple out
Our
there.
expert, he's
Yeah.
our BHHS Divine.Properties expert on VA loans.
I definitely try to be. I'm not a lender,
No,
so
but
but
you
I
you
know how
actually
to.
you were a recruiter. You had to tell people the
No,
benefits of the
well,
VA loan.
absolutely, because I mean, even nowadays, it kind of shocks me that a lot of veterans out there don't understand what's actually,
Right.
and they've heard about it or they've seen it and they're like, oh well, whatever. But the VA loan is huge because you can get 100% financing.
That's right.
And in all the other different loans, the FHA, conventional, USDA, none of those offer that.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe down payment assistance
Right.
or whatever, but the VA loan gets you 100% financing
Right.
at a state cap, which
Right.
means that in your state that you live, there's a cap that you can go to for your lending expenses.
Right.
And that's if you were to also buy multiple, right? Like let's say if you wanted to go buy an investment property somewhere, like a duplex, you live in one part, it will still do that.
Yeah.
But you just got to stay in that cap zone. I don't know the state cap right off the top of my head right now. I want to say it's $1 million, but it would have to be a double check. I think it changes, doesn't it? Is it more?
Yeah, it's actually, I'm not sure that there is a cap in the state of California any longer. A couple years ago that changed. Adam and I were very, very blessed to work with an amazing couple that we helped buy a property in Granite Bay. And they were, we actually became really close friends. We had the same breed of dog with the same name. I mean, we like connected very, very quickly, and they are amazing people. And they ended up buying a $1.495 million home in an amazing neighborhood with a VA loan. And the benefit of, so for those who don't understand the terminology, 100% financing means that you don't have to put a down payment down. So with the VA loan, you don't have to have that down payment, which everybody deems as 20%, but that's not true. But you don't have to come up with a down payment, but you do have to pay your closing costs.
Right.
And one thing I just want to preface is that we are not lenders. Right. We are not we're not going to give you credit scores. We're not going to give you, your guidelines on how to qualify for these loans, but just basically what's out there and what's available to you. And so the VA is amazing. I think in Amador County and even a lot of the surrounding areas, we have a very large veteran population. Yeah. Yes. And there are many older vets in this area who at the time, I mean, I would say anybody pretty much above the age of 60 was taught during their time in the military that if they were not in an active
combat zone or theater, or however you want to,
that their VA wouldn't take effect, so that they couldn't use their VA loan. And that was not true. Right. So, I mean, I've even seen people within the last 5 years realize, I mean, they were in their 70s, realize that they have the VA benefit that they've lived their whole life, even though they were in the military, not realizing that they could use and could go buy a house with nothing down.
Well, it's also the fact of they also think, it's the difference not just being in a war zone or in a combat area, but also between reservists and active. It's just a different timing, but you can still get it if you do a certain time. There's a time limit that you have to be active for or reservist for, either one, right? The best way to check, and I'll tell you, is if you go to va.gov. Okay. Super great site. Get a certificate of eligibility through your service, and it literally will tell you if you're good or not. That's awesome. And that's the number one key way. You get that. Once you have that, boom, you're easy. So you don't even have to second guess it. Well, did I do that much or did I not? Do I have to calculate it? don't do that. Just go to va.gov, and if you have questions, you guys can give me a call. I'll put my number on the screen somewhere. Give me a call, and I'll walk you through it. It's a certificate of eligibility. You get that. You talk to our great lenders that we have. You show them that you're eligible for it, and then we walk you through the process. And Steven is amazing with VA loans. He does some good work too, and understands it. And that's another thing too, is getting someone that also understands it on the lending side.
That's right.
I've heard, haven't ran across it, as some people that just differ from it. Also, like, they're not like comfortable with doing it. I haven't run into that problem yet. Right. So that's super good.
There's also agents out there that are not very comfortable with a VA loan because they hear VA and it scares them, because VA does require that the house be in good condition. But a VA loan is a guaranteed loan. It is rock
it's backed
solid.
By the government. That's the whole thing. The whole thing is the veterans are not, the actual VA is not giving you a loan. They're backing your loan to get it so you can get approved. That's the whole difference, right? They call it a VA loan. It's not coming from the VA. It's getting backed by the VA for you to get 100% financing. Just like an FHA loan, to where the government is backing the loan to give you down payment assistance. So for first-time home buyers or something that can't come up with the liquid cash, because everything is so expensive nowadays that you have to buy, you have to spend all of your paycheck to survive. And when you actually want to start investing in yourself and buying assets or property specifically, you can't.
That's right.
So it gives you a bunch of different ways to do that, to make it affordable. And then with us and our negotiating skills, English, my second language, I think.
Right. Welcome back.
Negotiation skills, we work it where sometimes people don't even have to bring money to the table.
That's right. There are many times that we have sold a home that somebody doesn't have to come out of pocket a dime. Now, that doesn't mean everyone.
No.
But it is
circumstance.
Yeah, there are. So on that, there are VA loans, of course, but obviously you have to have served our country, and we thank you so very much for that. And the VA is a great benefit. Also, there are first-time home buyer loans. Now, FHA is often misconstrued as a first-time home buyer because it's FHA. It's not. It's actually the Federal Housing Authority.
Right.
But what that just basically means is you'll hear Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. Yep, I was going to mix those two up. I literally said the other day, as a realtor, I think I need to have 2 pets. I need dogs that are named Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae.
Right.
Those have to be realtor dogs. Anyway, so the government-backed loan is there for a reason, and that is to help people be able to accomplish the huge goal of homeownership. So you have a much lower credit score, a much lower a much lower down payment. It's about 3.5%. There are 100% financing FHA loans. We have a lender, Stephen Wynn with Prosperity Mortgage, who we love so much. You can use any lender that you want, but that's our preferred lender. And he offers 100% financing FHA loan. There are also, so the FHA is a really great loan for people who do not have a lot of money in the bank, who do not, have the highest credit scores, and it still gives you the opportunity to be able to pay your own mortgage versus someone else's.
Well, again, we've said it 100 times, and I'll keep saying it. Would you rather pay 100% of someone's mortgage or just 6% of yours?
Right. Literally,
we're in the 6%.
Right.
Whether you like it or not, we're in the 6%. We're away from the 7s. We're away from the 8s. It just came out today. Lowest this month it possibly could be is I think 6.2, 6.5. It's somewhere, but it's in the 6s, which is great.
That's right.
It's workable. And you brought up another good point of low credit scores. I think that scares a lot of people too, because they don't know this information. There's a ton of programs out there to help you be able to buy your house. You don't have to come out of pocket. You don't have to, save for 30 years or buy your first house when you're 60 and 80 years old.
Right.
You can start this now. You just got to find the sources out and find the information. And this is why we started this whole thing, is to give you guys this information to make your best decision. Talk to us. Come and get looked at, right? And also, coming to us and talking with us doesn't guarantee you buying a house right now.
That's right.
Right? We work with you. We get a plan together. I just had clients a couple weeks ago where we get a plan together. Hey, let's move some money around. Let's make some changes. Let's get your credit scores up. And then boom. Next thing you know, 6 months is 2 months away, and we're looking for a house in 3 months.
Right. No, it's amazing. And we don't care where you are in the nation. we actually don't care where you are in the world. We
Yeah.
work with such an amazing company with Berkshire Hathaway Home
Great
Services
company.
that we have a worldwide footprint.
Mhm.
No matter where you're looking, we have amazing agents that we can put you in touch with. So feel free to reach out to us. We will connect you wherever you are with the
Mhm.
agent that is going to treat you like family and make sure that you're taken care of.
Yes.
So
And I believe it. Going to just my first convention last year, you go meet these people, and they treating you like friends and family,
yeah,
and there's that trust, it's that bond, almost like in the military.
that's
You
right.
have that backing. They have a huge veteran connection community
Right,
there,
right.
and when you go in there, you're all friends. I don't think I met one bad person that felt like their noses in the air, they were stuck up, and these were people that were making multi-billion dollars
Yeah,
nationwide going
that's
up on
right.
stage,
That's right.
and they were greeting you like friends. Hey, how can I help you? Networking, you're resourcing,
Yeah.
right? It was awesome.
It is called the Forever Agency for a reason. So Berkshire Hathaway is owned by Warren Buffett. As all of us know, whatever he touches turns to gold. This company is no different. It's a
Yeah.
really, really awesome company, and it stands behind its name for sure.
Yeah.
Another loan that is very interesting, and it is for rural areas. So
Yes.
this does not fall for everyone. This falls in the category of rural. Amador County is considered rural.
Let's picture farming, right?
Yes,
Farming,
yes.
agriculture.
Yep.
A lot of it is used to get those farmers started,
That's
or
right.
those people growing crops to use that property in a
right.
stance. Where we live, we are in a very agriculture
We
area,
are.
in a rural area, and
Mhm.
USD loans are acceptable here.
Yeah. Yeah. A USDA loan is sometimes confused with the meat. Do not confuse it with the
Confuse that.
USDA meat. But one of the values of a USDA loan is that it is 100% financing. Also, you do not have to put any money down. Keep in mind they put it on the back of your loan, so you do end up paying it off. It's different than the VA. They actually do it for you. But it is a way for you to come to the table without any money out of pocket.
Right.
And so when we say that, we mean that there's ways that we can actually make an offer asking for a seller to pay a portion of your closing costs.
Mhm.
So the loan covers your down payment,
Mhm.
and the percentage that you get from a seller, if that's agreed upon, that covers your closing costs, and therefore you come out of pocket no money. Now, mind you, if you want inspections, you pay for those. If you use our lender that we recommend, he
Yeah.
pays for your appraisal. There are other lenders out there that do that, but otherwise you may have to pay for your appraisal too. So
Well, again,
USDA loan is a unique loan. It is like you have to jump through a hole this big.
yeah.
And
What's
it does.
a lot of loans are like that.
Mhm.
When they're trying to give you the 100% financing.
Yeah.
But they're not. USD loan is probably one of the harder ones that you have to jump through in the
Right.
hoops. But it's doable.
Right.
It's feasible.
Yeah.
And again, we're giving you guys the options and the abilities for you to choose. Right. You talk with our preferred lender or a lender
Right.
that they give you the options and they show you how it's going to work
Yes.
for you. Because at the end of the day, what's the biggest question everybody asks? How much am I paying every month?
That's right. It's all you care about. Nobody cares about the price of the home. They
No.
only care
How
about
much
your
am I paying a
payment.
month and how long?
Yep.
Because
And what price of home can I go shopping for?
and
That's literally
that's
it.
why it's so important to know this, but also come in, get pre-approved. We do our lender,
Yes.
preferred lender, does
Yes.
a lock and shop, which will lock
Only
you in at
company
those
I know
rates.
that does that.
Lock you in at those rates. You get 90 days. I said almost said 60 months, but that's crazy long.
Yeah.
You get 90 days, so you get 3 months to walk around and know where you're at and find a house.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why wouldn't you go get it? Do your looking, and again,
Right.
you don't have to buy in those 3 months. You're not
No.
pressured to buy in those 3
Mm-mm.
months, but at least know where you're at,
Yeah.
because then you can actually, when you're sitting there at 12 o'clock at night on Zillow or Redfin or your BHH website page,
That's
which
right.
we prefer,
That's right.
and you're scrolling through homes, you know what you're looking for, and you can put in the filters, so you're not seeing these $1 million crazy homes that you just wish you could afford.
Right.
Right, you know what you're looking for, and then it starts becoming real.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, watching someone know that they've worked so hard in their job.
It's so fun.
I've got clients that they're a little older, right, and they're trying to buy their first house. But when you finally put stuff on paper and you get it down, and they start feeling this real part of it, they just
Yes.
get so happy.
It's
It's like
so
getting a
much
toy
fun.
on Christmas that you've always wanted,
Yeah,
right?
but they cost a couple $100,000.
Biggest purchase you'll ever make in your life, and I've never heard anybody regret buying a home.
Right.
I've never
Right.
said anybody, man, I never should have bought this home.
Yeah.
Right? Unless it was a very bad home
Yeah.
that needed a lot of work and you're putting a
Yeah.
lot of money
Yeah.
into it. But if you move
But
into
you
that
knew that
home,
going into it.
that is
Yep.
true.
Yep.
You move into that home, you do your stuff to it, it's yours. You've
Yeah.
now obtained something that gives you asset value.
Yeah.
Right? That
It
you're able
was
to use in
great,
a lot of
great.
ways.
I mean, what a great investment.
Gosh.
Real estate is such a great
It's never gonna go
investment.
away.
Yeah. And so it is very, very fun. There are also loans for people who do find homes that need a lot of work. There are rehabilitation loans.
Yeah.
There is an FHA loan that is, I think it's a 203K. I think that's what it's called. And I'm going to check my notes real quick, but it's an FHA, yeah, a 203K. And that actually helps you go into purchasing with a home that needs rehabilitation, but you don't have the money to do that. Right. So you can afford to buy the house, then you add on the cost of the rehabilitation to get it up to par. And then that is what becomes your loan amount. Well, there's conventionals that do the same thing.
And the VA does the same thing. They have a one-time land purchase building loan. So it's a one-time loan you could do. You could purchase the house with the VA loan, and then you build your house onto it. They also cover barn dominiums, which is super cool.
Wow, that is cool.
But you don't have to pay until after everything is all done, and then they lump both the construction and the land loan together, and then that is your new loan. But you only do it one time.
Awesome. Very, very awesome.
But again, there's a lot of processes. Come in and talk to us. I mean, we can talk
about
it all day.
Really. And actually, I want you to know where I'm getting my information is if you go to our, so we have a Divine.Properties website as well as the Berkshire Hathaway website. And on our Divine.Properties website, we have a seller and buyer's guide that we created a couple of years ago before we actually partnered with Berkshire Hathaway. So they are still available there and they are very useful information. If you go to divine.properties, there's no .com or .net. Just click on sale and it'll give you buyer's guide or seller's guide. All that I'm talking about here is available in the buyer's guide. And actually, those are really awesome tools for you to buy or sell. And they literally walk you from the beginning to the end. We realize that this process can be very overwhelming for people. So we created these with that in mind to help walk you through to answer many questions that you have.
Oh yeah, and all the links that we're talking about today will be in our description, guys. So you guys can go down, scroll, click, play around. Both mine and Kandi's websites will be on there if you guys want to scroll around in there as well. A lot of good information, a lot of homes you can see. I mean, people always ask me too. It's like, how is the market going to? And I think we should probably do that coming up here.
That's a good idea.
Going into the new holidays, going into the new year, is the market? Are we seeing a lot of buyers activity? Are we seeing a lot of sellers activity? Right now, just quick, I would say in some parts of our own area, we're getting a lot of houses coming up, which is really nice.
We are. I mean, I would say that, and I know we've talked about this once before, but after the election, it seems like regardless of what the outcome was of that, just the anticipation was over and people started being willing to list their homes and buy. So we are seeing lots of buyers come to the table and lots of sellers. And so that's very exciting. The holidays generally are a little bit of a slow time. But we don't,
when winter comes up here too, you got snow and people don't want to go see houses.
But we're in the middle of December and this is what we're seeing right now. So who knows what to expect. But remember that you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at capital WT DW little s, what to do Wednesday little s. Also send your email questions to what to do Wednesdays with an s at gmail.com. We'd be happy to answer those on air.
Absolutely.
We did receive a question from someone this last week having to do with crypto coin. And I have to be honest, we do own Doge. And if you haven't purchased Doge yet, you might want to, because Elon Musk just, what's his Department of... Let me remember. He is the Department of Government Efficiency, Doge. So his title with the government for the president has the acronym Doge. The dude, and he also owns Dogecoin. So
not financial advisors, but we always like to bring questions to the table to try to help out in any way possible.
Yes.
I don't get too crazy into crypto. I dabble. I'm more of like foreign currency kind of buying because I like to have like real paper in my hands.
I know nothing.
But so I would say hit up a financial advisor. Look people up all the time. Don't trust everything you see on TikTok and Reels except for if it's ours. And then no, that's the best answer I can give you guys. There's a ton of people that are running it right now, and there's a lot of day traders out there that are loving to go out for give their information and their 2 cents. So definitely look into it.
No, it is. I mean, we have no idea what's to come with it, but here's what I can tell you: since the election, Bitcoin has gone up $40,000 per coin.
That's crazy.
Is that? God bless you who own a lot of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, you guys, we super appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Next week, we're going to have a surprise for you. It's going to be something amazing that we're going to talk about because we haven't thought about what we're going to do next week yet.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't even know what the surprise is, so I'm going to surprises you. But
we're going to surprise you.
Tune in, hit the bell. Stay tuned every Wednesday's new episode.
Thank you. We just want to give you a What to Do Wednesday disclaimer. The information provided in this podcast is for general informational purposes only. All opinions expressed are those of the host and guests and do not reflect the official stance of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services or Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Divine.Properties or any affiliated entities. This podcast does not constitute legal, financial, or real estate advice, and listeners are encouraged to consult with qualified professionals regarding their specific needs. While we strive to provide accurate information, we make no guarantees regarding the completeness or reliability of any information discussed. We are not responsible for any actions taken by listeners based on the content in this podcast. Additionally, topics covered in the podcast are based on the host's experience and opinions and may not apply to all situations. Listeners are reminded that real estate laws and regulations may vary by location and information may become outdated over time. By listening to this podcast, you agree to release the host, guests, and any associated entities from any liability related to the topics discussed.